the Drake versus Kendrick, it's the rap beef that has the world keeping score after a series of diss tracks continues to keep both megastars at the top of the charts.
Joining us now to take us inside the world of hip-hop battles is award-winning journalist, publicist, and best-selling author, Dalton Higgins. Welcome to the show.
Listen, I think we all know that these battles have been around for a long time, but talk to us about the origins. How did they start?
Yeah, absolutely. For some people, this is like a new thing, a trend, a new phenomenon. It's been going on for about 50 plus years.
Wow.
Hip-hop beefs, okay?
Yeah.
So when you look at the history of hip-hop going back to the 70s, there's one of the forefathers, Africa Bambaataa. He was a part of a gang called the Black Spades. And what they did is getting into beefs was actually a good thing, because rather than beef in real life, you know, as far as physical altercations, committing acts of violence against somebody you don't like, you battle it out on the microphone.
Or
you battle it out by dancing.
Right.
So it's a good thing.
Through art, in a way.
Exactly. And even before the hip-hop beefs 50 plus years ago, you have this thing in the Black culture, it's called playing the dozens. And it's been going on since the early 1900s, and it's this thing where you're sort of, it's a verbal combat. And you know the jokes like Yo Mama? You know when people do Yo Mama? Your mama is so broke that she has to drink rainwater. This type of thing, right? So this has been going on since the early 1900s. So that's like the original beef kind of diss that's going on.
Cool.
So I feel like, though, people would be more familiar with some of the more recent beefs that have come to light. We think about Tupac and Biggie, Nas versus Jay-Z, and so many more. But what sets this particular feud between Drake and Kendrick apart?
Yeah, totally. This one's very different. First of all, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, they're two rap unicorns, okay? Right? Kendrick Lamar's work is studied at Harvard University, Ivy League University. He won a Pulitzer Prize. I mean, he actually recorded award-winning music attached to the soundtrack of Black Panther, you know, movie soundtracks. Drake, right? Okay, And then Drake, on the other hand, you want to talk about unicorn, Black Jewish kid from Toronto. Who is it, right? Who's attached to, I mean, he's a global ambassador for the Toronto Raptors. He owns, you know, OVO clothing. So these are two, that's what makes a difference. Also, too, with beefs, they're usually tied to promotional cycles, right? So when you stimulate, you know, scandal, controversy, it's usually tied to promoting something, okay?
Like an album.
Like a new album coming out. Let's start with this is not that. Also, too, what makes a difference is Drake, this was almost like Drake versus the world, versus everybody, okay? This was not about Drake and Kendrick Lamar because all these other rappers started chiming in. Rick Ross started dissing him, producers, Metro Boomin. So this was like Drake versus everybody. So that's what makes this different.
I know, everybody needs to lay off of Drake right now. You mentioned the past beefs, but social media didn't exist back then. So how has social media amplified these rap beefs?
This feels like almost some of the social media content trumps the actual music, okay? Because we're seeing content creators cranking out memes and GIFs, and it is unbelievable, right? And what I'd also say, too, is, you know, when the late Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, when they were beefing and passed away, unfortunately, there's no such thing as Instagram. There was no TikTok. TikTok's only been around since like 2017. So that's what makes this very different. Also, too, there's a producer named Metro Boomin, and he created this whole open source instrumental track for people to diss Drake, okay? So that's all social media. So this is like the first hip-hop's first content creator beef, is what I'd say.
It's like really big one. To the next level, really.
To the next level,
Well, because I think most people don't want to see anyone lose their lives, the question being asked is how far is too far? Like, at what point, if any, like, does a producer step in? Does anyone step in? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I know that the major labels that fund a lot of this stuff, they're not gonna step in. Beef is big business, okay? And I would strongly implore you all to engage some form of beef. You know, you'll see your ratings go through the roof. Like, this is what happens. You get viral moments, right? Scandal, controversy, that's what sells, right? So hip-hoppers are just taking full advantage of that, right? And as far as the corporations, you know, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, by the way, they're attached to Universal Music Group, corporations. So as these songs are getting a ton of streams, right, a lot of people are profiting off of this beef. So those are the facts,
Let's talk about that, because, I mean, well, two questions. Like, let's talk about the ways that artists can benefit financially. And then a second question is, like, could this be partially intentional? Maybe not with these two, but, like, could you actually be trying to create something in order to profit from it?
Yeah. In the West, in North America, yes, you should create beefs, you know, if you want to drive attention to your product. You know, it sounds pretty shameless and kind of lowest common denominator, but that's what I think's happening. I would also say that when we talk about creating hit records, you have a rapper, Megan Thee Stallion, right? Fantastic musician. And she landed her first solo #1 record as a byproduct of dissing Nicki Minaj.
Wow.
Okay, right? The song is called Hiss.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's great for business, okay? Kendrick Lamar. Not Like Us. I'm sure you probably all have heard the song.
Yeah.
It's charted #1 on Billboard. It's like #1 in like 40 plus countries.
Wow.
And the song is being played everywhere. Like, you know, the NBA playoffs are happening now. You hear it there. Major League Baseball, Los Angeles Dodgers, they're playing it at games. And even the tennis player, Naomi Osaka, she basically, you know, played it. She's at the, I think, Italian Open, and is playing the song, the music, right? So, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. All right, so I know there's a lot of discourse on TikTok about who's the winner of this beef, but how do you determine the winner of a rap beef?
Yeah, totally. Well, Kendrick Lamar won this, okay? Like, I want to, I mean, you know, I want a flag wave and like go, you know, go Canada, oh Canada, sure, I'm born in Toronto, okay, I want to do that. But no, he won, as if you look at the real metrics as far as creating social media moments, the subject matter, the lyrics. But the beef also felt a bit like a war of attrition, meaning that, you know, whenever you have those debates, like who's the greatest basketball player of all time? Is it LeBron James?
Yeah.
Is it Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
These debates go nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, because
They're
Drake,
fun.
Drake super fans, Drake stans, Drake's groupies, whatever they're, he can do no wrong. They think that he won.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I would also say, too, that this beef, it felt a bit like apples and oranges, right? Because Drake makes music that's, you know, it's fun, it's cute, it's very apolitical, okay? Kendrick Lamar, on the other hand, he's talking about race, class, religion, faith, right?
Yeah.
So it's apples and oranges. I don't know how you compare the two.
Oh, that's interesting. So where do they go from here?
Well, you know, Kendrick Lamar, his last album came out in 2022, Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers, so he needs to put out new music, all right? New original music that has nothing to do with beef, okay? So that's what we're waiting. As far as Drake now, he needs to sit down with his PR strategist, his publicist, and try to restore his image, okay? Because it's taken a beating.
Yeah.
When you're getting allegations of, you know, grooming young women, pedophilia, you need to be sitting down with your PR strategist and sort of help to repair, restore your image, which took a beating.
Someone's doing some work right now. Dalton, thank you so much.
This was so interesting. Thank you so much. Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.